think I want to play a first-person shooter. Stop. Breathe. Take a little time. Soak everything in. There's no hurry, there's no rush, there's only you and a weird, new, donut-shaped world to envelop yourself in. You, and maybe a friend, are alone, especially since you murdered all of the Marines you were meant to rescue on this level. There's interesting shit to see all over the place. You just have to have the patience and the curiosity to seek it out. This is the attitude Halo approached game design with in its infancy, and I love everything about it. They then immediately abandoned that with Halo 2.
Is he riding a fucking sea urchin into space? Big laser from the sky, fucking boom!
Halo 3? Whoa.
Check it out, in the sky. Is that...
Hey, focus. We got a job to do.
But also,
I get to carry the laser now?
Halo has gone through a lot of change in the last 25 years. With every iteration, some kind of new twist crops up to keep things from getting too formulaic or predictable. Dual wielding and hijacking, turret ripping and map forging. All great additions to the package that started with the little green man that could back when I was still pissing and also shitting my diapers. After Halo 3, a saxophone disguised as a DLC, disguised as a new game came out. Whatever. After that, Halo Reach, Bungie's swan song to the series, was released to near universal acclaim. This was the last good Halo game we got. Mainline Halo game. God, I love you. However, Halo Reach is far from a perfect video game. It does a lot that I don't dig. But considering this franchise's face is on trajectory to meet a very fucking familiar brick wall, I think it's a good idea to look at what this series was capable of near its zenith. It isn't the best Halo, it isn't my favorite Halo, this is Halo Reach. When I think of Halo, there's a very clear vision in my smooth brain. I immediately picture the plasma rifle. Round, brightly colored, beautiful, and exaggerated animations. I mean, come on. It's kick-ass. That same style and care is applied everywhere and on everything in the original trilogy. These games are a visual feast, despite their growing age and fresh tenure in the gaming nursing home. That same sort of bubbliness and color are reflected in the story. This shit is not serious. Boo. There's flavor text in the manuals telling you that it is, but the deepest these games get is like a third of Halo 2 becoming Alien Game of Thrones.
Fool. They ordered me to do it.
It's cool, sure, but this trilogy is very much focused on the Saturday morning cartoon variety of ridiculous, violent fun, and not a whole lot else. Hell, you can summarize the entire storyline of Halo's most pivotal conflict through a Tom and Jerry bit. And someone did that. That actually exists. Most of these early games are about green man shoot good, and that rocks. It's why they're my favorite games. From the get-go, Halo Reach set out to shake everything you know about the series right the hell up, all the way down to its presentation. Gone were the readable silhouettes and thematic simplicity of the original trilogy. In their place came more complex, asymmetrical, modern military-inspired designs, and a grounded look at the human cost paid in Halo's core conflict, all smeared with a healthy layer of scuffs and grime. Now, your mileage may vary with these updated visuals. Personally, I like Halo the most when it isn't taking itself too seriously and when its visual identity reflects that. What I hate is when these games take themselves too seriously and are also written like shit. Get the fuck out of here, Halo 4. Halo now presented something it had only touched upon ever so lightly in the games. An earnest depiction of soldiers in a fight to stave off the looming specter of species-wide annihilation. A genuine insight into the human condition in moments of overwhelming despair. If the original trilogy was a balls-to-the-wall, tongue-in-cheek action movie, Reach was an intergalactic war documentary. This would be the first, and only time, Halo would take this approach to tone and story and also stick the landing. Sure, ODST tried, but that shit is so whack. This dedication to tonal shift is most clearly displayed in the characters. A big wet spoiler ahead for the 15-year-old game, go fuck yourself. For all of those not in the know, Halo Reach's core cast is a team of Spartan 3s, a flavor of super soldier on the planet Reach. Reach is what's known as a fortress world, a massive hub of cultural, industrial, and, most importantly, military activity for humanity. Think of it as Earth 2, in a way. But wait, I just called Reach a fortress world. What is it defending? Who is it defending from? Meet the Covenant, a massive theological conglomerate of several different alien species who all worship ancient technology left behind by another alien species called the Forerunner, who are super dead, but also maybe they're humans. Who gives a shit? What matters is that the Covenant really don't like humans, and are now embroiled in a war with humanity which looks suspiciously like a genocide against humanity.
We'll escort your Falcon to the tower.
Before the game starts, Reach is thought to be untouchable, and any trace of the Covenant on Reach is surely crazy talk. The first thing you do in this game is discover the Covenant on Reach. Before I get derailed any further with what's happening in the game's wider story, allow me to recenter myself on the characters. As I said before, the core cast of this game is a group of Spartan 3s called the Noble Team. Each member is numbered Nobles 1 through 6. This is explained out loud to the player in the very opening cutscene where we meet Noble Team for the first time.
Sir, I'm Carter, Noble Team's leader. That's Kat, Noble 2, Emil and George 4 and 5.
So I'm not typically one for this blatant tell versus show kind of storytelling, but this game is only so long and there's a lot to cover, so expository dialogue needs to be snappy while also serving as characterization for the speaker. This is a great time to focus on Noble 1, Carter, one of my personal favorites of the team. Carter is clad in deep blue armor accented with steel gray. His armor screams, "in charge." Its mostly uniform design is only broken by the asymmetry of his shoulder pieces. I won't go into specifics on every character's design, but Carter's reflects his character pretty well. He's the team's straight man, the leader. Every response he has to anything feels like it's pulled straight out of the UNSC handbook on how to answer questions. This is pointed out by another character pretty early on.
Our primary objective was to get the station's relay back online.
Your primary objective, Commander, are you a puppet or a Spartan?
Even when he's making introductions to the player character, he isn't one to waste precious syllables when there's a mission to complete, a job to be done, and there's always a job to be done. There's brief glimpses of the Carter underneath the one we see in the chain of command, most notably near the end of the game.
6. That AI chose you. She made the right choice.
If you're familiar with the original trilogy's characters, you can already spot a crazy difference between who were presented here next to the one-liner machines of Sergeant Avery Johnson and the Master Chief. Next up is Noble 2, Noble Team's de facto science officer. Kat handles any bullshit sci-fi gadgets and gizmos the team stumbles upon in the field. In direct contrast to Carter, Kat is a natural skeptic. When Carter provides orders from up top, you can count on Kat to question those orders. These two provide a foil to each other that lends to the best exchanges of dialogue this series has ever seen. When the orders are to stand by and wait for backup,
that thing's crushing us and we're waiting for backup. They'll be backing up a graveyard.
All our nukes are either out system or went down with the ships that carried them. You're preaching to the converted.
How converted?
I know that look, Kat.
You can say no.
No.
You don't even want to hear.
You don't need to spend a lot of time with these characters to know that there's history here. They've had conversations like this countless times. You can hear it in their tone, their demeanor, Kat's insistence, Carter's indifference. Again, when the team is ordered to run defense against the Covenant, something Kat finds to be a waste of their offensive capabilities.
Sir, that true about Gauntlet Red and Echo teams assigned to civilian evac ops?
Those are senior level communique.
I hear what I hear. Point is, why put Spartans on defensive deployments?
I need that link to SATCOM, Kat.
Chasing it. But this console's got more shrapnel in it than transceivers. You didn't answer my question.
You want to know if we're losing?
I know we're losing. I want to know if we've lost.
These careful games of cat and mouse the dialogue serves here show that Carter isn't simply a mindless drone. He's willing to entertain dissenting opinions and uncomfortable questions. That Kat is more than a reckless dissident, but a concerned team member pushing for transparency in the fog of war. They don't mindlessly clash for the sake of it. They're two competent people trying to solve the issue from different perspectives. These two might have conflicting ideals, but they're still a team, and each is willing to forfeit their life for the other. This is reinforced when Kat is threatened by a member of the Space CIA, Oni, and Carter jumps in front of her to take the heat.
Professor Sorvad's final entry in his field notes made reference to a latchkey discovery. Latchkey. Not a word he would use lightly. So let's hope that the data module your Lieutenant Commander stole contains it. That data is classified Tier 1. I could send you to the brig for interfering with my work.
Maybe you'd like to join her.
I'm sorry?
We're currently under emergency planetary directive, winter contingency. I'm sure you're familiar with the punishment for civilian interference with the Spartan deployment.
Are you threatening me, Commander?
Just making a reading suggestion, ma'am. Let's move, Noble Team.
Of course, the performances on display here are unbelievable, but the proficiency in writing it takes to make the player feel for characters in such a short runtime is a tall order. With exchanges like this, Halo Reach delivers, and it wouldn't be able to without our favorite driver, Noble 2. Here we have Noble 3, June, the sniper. June, much in line with his actual role, spends most of his time in the background. The first time you see him, he's sitting, observing. He doesn't even formally introduce himself to the player character. He simply provides a quick-witted welcome to the planet. He's a lot like Kat, only without the mega testicles it takes to openly question the higher-ups. In fact, it's only after Kat's passing that June begins to lightly take on her role of openly disagreeing with orders.
Dot, check your vector.
Vector confirmed, Commander. We are precisely where Oni has directed. Apologies. Coordinates revised. Please confirm?
Revised?
By an AI of unknown origin, whose clearance is well above my own.
Well, it's pointing us a click and a half east and 2,000 feet underground.
I didn't bring my shovel, Commander.
Sir, I say we go AI free on this one. Obviously, these coordinates are junk, and the longer we go chasing them.
Noble 4 is Emil, the Edgelord. I jest, mostly. Emil gives Noble Team some brute force. He likes to carry around a big mean shotgun and be a big mean asshole. In terms of character, there's not a whole lot to discuss here. He has some minor conflict with George, Noble 5, which has equally minor payoff in the aftermath of George's sacrifice.
Keep him. I gave him to you. I'll honor him my own way.
He's mostly a cool guy doing cool things. Seriously, his character design is like the only reason he's remembered fondly by people like me who thought he was fucking epic when I was 10 years old. If you slotted him into the original trilogy, he'd fit like a glove. George, Noble 5, notably the only Spartan 2 on the team and only native to Planet Reach to boot, George's massive stature contrasts nicely with his gentle nature. When the team runs into a survivor of a Covenant assault, George works closely with her, speaking her native tongue in an attempt to gain common ground with someone who sees him as a shining example of cold, unfeeling, authoritarian rule.
Your accent sounds familiar. Chaperon?
Tangari.
Friend of yours?
Father.
Shine along. I'm sorry.
Why would you be?
If one of Halo Reach's themes is revealing the tragic futility of sacrifice to a losing fight, George is the poster child for it. His biggest contribution to the story is an attempt to end the war in one massive blow, nuking a Covenant capital ship to save the planet that raised him, only for the largest Covenant fleet ever seen to arrive just a moment later. George's story speaks to many of the larger themes that Reach attempts to convey. Capping off Noble Team is the player character, Noble 6. Noble 6 has very little character to speak of. They act solely as a player surrogate, very much in line with Master Chief of the original trilogy. The only reference to their background is in the very beginning of the game when Carter mentions reading their file, even the redacted parts, and ordering them to adjust their role in the field from lone badass to team member. I think it's safe to say that in the years since Halo Reach, this series hasn't even attempted to tell a story anything like this, or with characters a fraction as well written or acted. It's a massive reason why so many people look back on Reach with such fondness. It presents Noble Team as soldiers, but it refuses to let that identity become all they are. Each member embodies a different response to war: duty, skepticism, detachment, aggression, compassion. All different faces of the same doomed struggle. It is truly one of a kind for this series, and the single best thing about this game as a whole. Alright, that's enough ooey gooey narrative bullshit. Let's talk about how the game actually plays. Okay, so this segment can go a lot of ways, considering the Venn diagram of what people constitute good Halo gameplay as looks more like the approximate orbit of every planet in the solar system to the sun than anything else, but I still think it's a good idea to preface this segment with the fact that these are just my opinions. Don't take them too seriously, you'll just look like a fucking moron. I will also briefly consider the fact that in my teens, my brother poisoned my brain into loving Halo, the sport, so a lot of my takes on Reach's gameplay will revolve around the competitive viability of the systems in place and the sandbox surrounding them. We good? Good. I do not like the way Halo Reach plays. Where the fuck are my shots going, dude? Like, I don't even know. Before I go into why that is, we should probably examine the gameplay itself. So, when Halo's story took a tonal U-turn, its gameplay was forced to follow suit. This was a more realistic look at the Halo universe, so moving, shooting, the sandbox, driving, and flying all feel meaningfully distinct in Reach from every other entry in the series. Especially this one, where driving feels like you're behind the wheel of a fucking push car going 60 miles per hour into a burning dumpster. Let's just start with movement, though. Halo Reach features the slowest base movement speed in series history, tied for first place with Halo 4. This, in my opinion, is for two reasons. First is that this game is going for a more unpredictable combat loop, more reliant on vehicles and physics-based tomfoolery. Second, of course, was to accommodate the introduction of sprint. Now, I know that for some Halo superfans, the S-word will send you into anaphylactic shock, but it's going to come up a lot, so for the sake of everyone around you, I'm going to simply ask that you stop being such a whiny bitch for the first time in your life. This horse carcass of a debate has been wasting away in the sun for long enough, and I don't mean to make a show of getting my kick in, so I'll make this quick as to keep Favin from breaking into my house at night with a detailed diatribe against the mechanic. Shout out OSP, love you too. So, does Sprint make whichever Halo game it happens to be in worse simply by virtue of its presence? No. Is it a necessary mechanic for a good Halo game? Nope. The issue isn't really about Sprint if you look at it close enough, it's all down to implementation, and Halo Reach does it maybe the worst. As a side note, in the very short list of things Halo 5 manages to get right, Sprint happens to be near the top, funnily enough, considering these two titles are on opposite ends of the overall quality spectrum. Why does Halo Reach do it so poorly, though? There's a lot of answers to this question, but the one I want to hone in on for this video is the lack of commitment. Reach introduced a new sandbox item called Armor Abilities, on-map pickups that give the user abilities that varied in use. Some increased your mobility, like the jetpack, evade, and sprint. Others provided more defensive options, like the bubble shield, armor lock, and... Then there was the real standout, like Hologram, for people smart enough to use it effectively. I'll dive further into those later, but observant viewers will notice that Sprint happened to be on that list. Yes, Sprint is not an intrinsic ability to all players in this game. It has to be selected or sought out on a per-match or encounter basis. Now, in the campaign, this doesn't present much of an issue, considering any given encounter designed to have Sprint as an option will likely have it laying around somewhere for you to pick up. Multiplayer is an entirely different discussion, because I fucking lied to you. Yes, armor abilities can be on-map pickups, but they more frequently present themselves as an option to spawn with whenever you want. This was a massive departure from the even start map controlling strategy of the original trilogy, lending to a less focused experience. For example, take a match of Halo 3. I spawn on one side of the map with the standard loadout of an AR and some grenades to deal with any opposing players I happen upon. A rocket launcher spawns in the center of the map. If I want it, I have to go get it. But the other team also probably wants that rocket launcher. Thing is, we all have the same starting loadout, and we all start at the same distance away from the rocket launcher. If I really want it, I have to win it. Halo Reach immediately presents me with the choice of whether or not I want a better starting chance of getting to that rocket launcher at the cost of being able to press pause on the flow of combat whenever the fuck I want. Good God! Who thought armor lock was a good idea? By offering this choice, Halo Reach gives some players innate advantages over others in a way that feels contradictory to the tight-knit predictability so associated with Halo's PvP multiplayer. Halo used to be a game where everyone spoke the same physical language. Reach showed up, and now it feels like everyone is speaking in different tongues. This lack of commitment to Sprint's implementation in Reach also leads to issues in how maps are designed. maps in Reach have a stunning lack of direction. The fact that sometimes sprint will be there and sometimes it won't leads to maps feeling too small and too big simultaneously, because there's no clear way for map designers to support contradictory assumptions about player mobility. As a result, match pacing is all over the place. If Halo was trying to fit in better with its contemporaries at the time, that's fine, but it failed on two fronts because it doesn't seem to know if it wants to commit to what it used to be or what it was trying to be. Going back to Halo 5, it fully commits to the presence of sprint, leading to more focused map design, and also provides risk-reward decision-making by disabling shield recharging while sprinting. It commits to the mechanic and adds meaningful depth. Reach did neither. Add the fact that the act of sprinting in this game makes everything feel like the ice level in any given platformer, and you have some of the worst movement in any Halo game. Conversely, in modes that thrive on the chaos provided by Reach's overall multiplayer offering, like Invasion, these problems basically completely disappear. Because the mode and maps made for it are designed specifically with these abilities in mind, maps will grow in size, objectives evolve as the match go on, this mode simply wouldn't be done justice in the original trilogy. But Reach's expansion of individual player choice not only makes it work, but makes it work exceedingly well. It makes two things very apparent: why Invasion is Reach's best mode, and why it was a Reach-only entry for over a decade. Invasion makes the strongest case for what Reach is trying to be, and what it's trying to be can be a damn good time. It's just a shame that it came at the cost of the focus and structure of what came before it. Whatever. Let's talk about the shooting. I should not have gotten that kill. Like, my reticle was just, like, wider than a fucking planet. In the first draft of this script, I complimented the shooting for a few things. The precision, only lightly impacted by the introduction of weapon bloom, the animations that lend a certain chunk to handling the weapons, and visual feedback from shots landed. I remember having a great time with the shooting in Halo Reach. What you have to understand is that I originally drafted this script without having played Reach multiplayer for quite some time. After gathering some footage, I came back to the script to rewrite a few things. I want to start with this since I've also been playing a lot of Halo 3 recently. Let me put it this way. Shooting in Reach after playing the original trilogy feels like chasing a nice bottle of Chardonnay with a tall glass of liquid dog shit. I cannot, for the life of me, figure out where the fuck my bullets are going. Shots that I know for a fact should land just don't. Shots that I feel I've completely whiffed get me kills. Playing this game can feel like an episode of The Twilight Zone.
Imagine, if you will, a game where the shooting feels like dick and the moving feels like balls. What the actual fuck is happening?
Weapon bloom is so much worse than you remember. Oh my god. Some weapons don't feel as impacted by the mechanic, and as a result, feel pretty damn good to shoot still. Most automatic weapons, when used up close, I would say, fall into this category. Pick up a precision weapon and dare, I mean fucking dare, to fire at its maximum RPM, and your shots will dance around your target. But Robbie, you should just pace your shots. Listen, dickhead, this is a game where the time to kill is already very long, and the skill of this game lies in your ability to land consecutive shots on moving targets. There is no, and I mean it, zero excuse to implement any amount of RNG into skillful engagements as we see in Halo. It makes winners feel like they've won the lottery, and losers feel like they've been cheated. It isn't skillful, it's luck, and it's a step in the direction of losing the player's trust in determining the outcome of any given fight. Games like Halo 3 and even Infinite ask if, when you see an opposing player, can you win this fight? Halo Reach asks, can you win this fight, while also arguing with a quarter of the weapon sandbox.
This game is horrifyingly inconsistent, man. I cannot.
It's so ridiculous. It's so damn disappointing because so many of these guns ooze charm. They're designed so intricately, animated so beautifully. Reach's sandbox almost feels wasted in a game that doesn't let a player's skill with a weapon be the driving factor in the decision of its fights. But because I like to be a happy camper and not a total asshole, let's pivot to something that this game does really well: the sandbox.
Betrayed.
Any Halo game is only as good as the toys it lets you play with, and holy shit, Halo Reach gives you some of the best in the series. I really want to start with the weapons here because I miss you dearly. Side note, while I was editing this video, the upcoming Halo Campaign Evolved confirmed the needle rifle's return. I really like that. I just don't know if starting with weapons will feel right. To put why that is into a little perspective, let's look at what's new. The DMR makes its fashionable debut, concussion rifle is here, Revenant grenade launcher, the golden child of Halo vehicles, the Falcon makes its debut, the aforementioned armor abilities, the Saber introduced space combat to Halo, the Grid, which isn't really a Sandbox item, but I just wanted to mention it because I love it. It's absolutely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs to consider that all of this is piled on top of series staples like the AR, Needler, Shoddy, Warthog, Ghost. There is just so much stuff in this game. Starting this segment feels like a monumental task because I genuinely have no idea where the fuck to even start. How about you? Vehicles. Vehicles in Reach kick so much ass. The Mongoose is back with the same little beep beep. Ghost, Scorpion, all great stuff. Where it gets really interesting though is the new stuff. The Revenant is a smaller form Wraith with a passenger seat. It's sort of making up for the Chopper's absence with a big front that eats up other vehicles. The cannon doesn't do quite as much damage as its older brother, but it still makes for a scary ass sight when you're traversing BTB maps on foot. It deserves way more time in the spotlight. The shining star of the show in Reach, however, is of course the Falcon. 3 seats, 2 rotors, 2 turrets, a mean green army machine aesthetic going on. This thing kicks so much ass, it makes me froth at the mouth. I want to bite it. I want to eat the Falcon. Then there's the Saber, a campaign exclusive vehicle for the longest time until 343 pulled one of their rare, what the fuck, you're a fun studio now? Moves and put it in Reach's Forge mode. This space-rated fighter is so sick. It controls very similarly to the Banshee, but it has heat-seeking missiles and an energy shield. Pair all of this crazy fun shit with the physics engine pulled from Halo 3 that is just so good. And there is not a single Halo game before or after that nails vehicles as well as Reach does. Guns. I mean, this is a Halo game, man. The guns are so much fun. Standouts are the grenade launcher and the needle rifle for sure. The grenade launcher has a basic fire mode that does big hurt to whoever it big hits, and an alternate fire mode where the launched pineapples gain an EMP effect. This thing is so awesome. Then there's the needle rifle. It's pretty basic under the hood. It's your run-of-the-mill precision weapon, only with the ability to... I love this thing. I mean, come on. Look at it. I want to bite it. I want to eat the needle rifle. Brute weapons are back with this sexy new space biker gang look going on. Pretty rad. The Spiker specifically is so sick. As you fire it, the front of the weapon heats up, starting to glow bright orange, and just listen to the sound of this thing. It's so cool. All of the UNSC and Covenant arsenals have been updated to have a grittier and more leveled look compared to the exaggerated and often cartoonish appearance of their OG counterparts. It's pretty sick, and when they're not being handcuffed by Bloom, they feel pretty great to shoot. Armor abilities. This is the big one. The newest addition to Halo Sandbox at the time, armor abilities provide the clearest look at the divergence that Reach set out to create from the original trilogy in terms of gameplay. It offers some of the game's most creative ideas, reaching heights previously unreachable with the jetpack, providing heals and a defensive dome to your team with the dome shield, becoming invisible at a moment's notice where previously you needed to seek out a power-up for that bonus, and becoming an immovable object with armor lock. In isolation, all of these abilities are fun toys to play with. It's when you apply these abilities to a gameplay formula that never factored in that kind of wacky player expression that cracks start to show. The game becomes less about careful planning, weapon controlling, and team coordination, and more about how much each player can individually shine with their toy of choice. That isn't inherently bad. Halo is a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and I won't sit here and say that one person has a monopoly opinion on what Halo is supposed to be. You may love armor abilities. Hell, when they're applied the right way, I love armor abilities. But their inclusion isn't perfect, and those imperfections manifest in ways that have reverberating effects on what I personally love about Halo. After Halo Reach came out, the series started to see its first major dip in popularity, and honestly, I see a major culprit of that being armor abilities. Just a moment ago, I said that Halo is a lot of different things to a lot of different people. To some, it's a galaxy-spanning space opera. To others, it's a party game. For some, it's a creation tool that allows them to express their artistry in unique and fun ways. And to some, it's sport. Regardless of who you are and what Halo means to you, if you asked me, what does Halo Reach set out to do? I'd say something like this. Halo Reach sets out to give people who love Halo, and those who have never tried it at all, something to latch onto. A new, darker spin on the previously bombastic sci-fi action adventure. An expanded and more expressive sandbox that pushes the previously subdued experience to new, exciting heights. It challenges the very identity of what we expect from Halo at all. Halo Reach is a game that attempts to give you everything you could ask of this series and then some. Sure, it doesn't always land a perfect 10, but it tries. It may not deliver the best version of every design pillar Halo was built on, but it delivers one of the fullest and most memorable experiences this series has ever produced. The kind of experience that has left players clinging to the hope that we'll see anything like this from Halo again. Even where Reach stumbles, it stumbles out of ambition, not exhaustion. It accepts the possibility of failure in order to become something more. It's a messy game, but that mess proves that any game can be more than the sum of its parts. A mess that insists you stand up to win in a fight that is desperately unwinnable. It insists that in the face of overwhelming loss, hope is out there somewhere. It insists that your assumptions about what Halo is meant to be are never what it can only be. It wants you to hurt for the characters it so expertly presents. It wants you to laugh with your friends flying around with stupid bullshit. More than anything, Halo Reach makes a simple request of its player. Feel something.